Do you want to turn SQL data into professional reports? In this lesson, we will dive into Group By and show you how to summarize, aggregate, and analyze your data like a pro. In our last lesson, we covered the where class in SQL, which allows us to filter records based on specific conditions. I hope you had a chance to practice it and understand how it works. Welcome to this lesson on Group By. If you have used pivot tables in Excel, you already know how useful grouping can be. In SQL, Group By works the same way. It summarizes transaction data into categories like total sales per customer or total expenses by account type. For accountants and analysts, this is a huge time saver. Instead of adding rows manually or using complex formulas, a simple SQL query can answer questions like how much did we spend on utilities or which product made the most revenue. Today we will cover the syntax, share a handy cheat sheet, and go through examples from beginner to advanced. When you write a group by query in SQL, think of it like building a report step by step. You select the columns you want and apply functions like sum or average from your table and use where to filter individual rows before grouping. Then group by organizes your data into categories and having lets you filter those groups like only showing totals above 100. Finally, order by sorts everything neatly. The key thing to remember where filters raw rows, having filters the grouped results. And mastering this is how you turn raw transactions into powerful insights. For accountants, think of it like grouping expenses by department and adding them up. It turns individual transactions into clear, actionable summaries. SQL aggregation might seem tricky at first, but it really boils down to one thing turning a big pile of data into meaningful summaries. Think of group by as picking your buckets like city, department, or category, and aggregate functions. Some average count is the formulas. They tell you what to do with the numbers in each bucket, just like Excel. Having is the special SQL twist. It filters your grouped results instead of individual rows, letting you say things like only show buckets where the total is over 1000, similar to applying a filter after a pivot table. With these building blocks, you can quickly turn messy transactions into clear, actionable insights, translating Excel logic into SQL and creating professional reports faster and more powerfully than ever. Now let's get hands on and do a practical examples to understand the group by class a bit more in depth. In the first query, we are grouping transactions by account type in summing amount. This is like Excel pivot table where you drag account type to rows and amount to values with sum. Let's run this query and see what happens. From a business perspective, you can instantly see total expenses, income, and asset transactions in one view. It's a foundational skill for accountants, helping to summarize transactions without manual addition or multiple Excel sheets. In query 2, here we are grouping by cash flow category to see the total cash flow from operations versus financing. In Excel, you would do the same with pivot table by category. This helps businesses understand where cash is coming from and going to, and which categories are driving costs or revenue. Is critical for cash flow analysis and planning, especially for accountants tracking operational versus financing cash flows. In query 3, this query calculates average unit price per product. Similar to Excel, you could use average if on product ID. For accountants or analysts, this is valuable to see pricing trends, identify products with high margins, or detect unusual pricing. It turns raw sales transactions into insights about product performance. Query 4. This query groups by customer ID to summarize the total quantity of products purchased per customer. It's like using a power table with the customer ID or customer ID is rows and quantity summed in Excel. Business insight. Identify top customers, plan loyalty programs, or flag unusual order volumes. For accountants, this helps cross check invoices or monitor sales patterns without manually summing each transaction. In Query 5, here we filter groups using having to only show account types with negative totals. Unlike where having works on aggregated values, where appears before group by and having comes after it. For accountants, this is useful for quickly identifying accounts data not outflows. In Excel, it's like filtering power table totals after summing. It helps focus attention on problem areas or negative cash flows. Query 7. This advanced example uses multiple grouping columns, account type, and cash flow category. It's like creating a two-level pivot table in Excel. The inside accountants can see how each account type contributes to operational or financial cash flows. For reporting, budgeting, or variance analysis, this multi-level grouping is critical to understand patterns in complex transaction data. In Query 7, we see this query summarizes total purchases per customer and returns total top 3 customers. In Excel, you could use a pivot table and then sort totals descending. Business values quickly identify key customers, track revenue concentration, or detect declines with unusual purchase patterns. Combining grouping by with sorting and limit and top 3 gives actionable insight for both accounting and sales strategy. To take your skills to the next level, try using group by with date range and advanced aggregations is key for monthly reports and dashboards. Keep practicing by trying different groupings using having to filter and combining multiple columns. Keep experimenting with your own transactions data to see the power of SQL aggregation in action. To wrap up, Group By is a powerful tool for accountants and business professionals. It turns row level transactions into summaries that help with reporting, cash flow analysis, and financial insight. In the next lesson, we will dive into even more powerful SQL techniques to uncover key business insights. Thank you very much.